Testing one, two, three. You hearing me? Okay, cool. You seeing the employability skills full screen? All right, nice. You could check the chat to see if anybody joined. Sorry? Oh, sorry. Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the National Training Agency's presentation on employability skills. This is being presented by the Jobs and Career Guidance Service of the National Training Agency. We at the National Training Agency would like to share with you what are the attributes that employers are looking for in addition to the right certifications and qualifications that will get you hired. So first of all, who is the National Training Agency, or NTA? Well, we are the body set up by the government to monitor, coordinate, and promote TVET in this country. TVET, or TVET, stands for Technical and Vocational Education and Training. These are the fields that encompasses the skilled or vocational jobs like masonry, plumbing, hairdressing, and cooking. We operate under the Ministry of Education and have a number of affiliated agencies. Here are some of the local, regional, and international organizations and ministries that are associated with the TVET field. Training bodies like MIC, UTT, and TTHTI, the Hospitality Institute, the ILO, and the Princess Trust, and of course the Ministry of Labor. Now within the NTA is the marketing department, and within this is the JCGS, or Jobs and Career Guidance Service. Here we go out and share our career guidance information to students and the general public. And you may have seen our former logo-wrapped buses that we used to use as mobile outreach officers going up and down the country providing this service. So with this job and career guidance service to students, workers, and the general public, we will help you with planning your career or training and the educational map that you need to develop, and then your resume and cover letter, and also tips on how to get through a job interview. All of our assistance is designed to help you find and succeed in the right career for you. Now, this initiative is supported by another department within the NTA, the research department, whose close links to industry provides us with the data that can be used to show persons the short and medium term outlook and trends for the labor market, so as to help you choose the right training for your target career path. As we can now get an idea of what jobs would be in demand when you are ready to access the labor market, having gotten your desired training and education at this point. So what is the current labor market scenario that new and unemployed workers in this country, in this economy face? Well, to begin with, we have a fairly high number of unemployed persons in the country, estimated at 4.96% according to the IMF. While not comparatively high, it does make finding a job a little more challenging in these times. Added to this, there are less and less of the normal jobs that your parents would have done, particularly permanent ones. The economy is evolving towards contract jobs, where you will be employed almost on a rotational basis, going from one workplace to another. This calls for more flexible work arrangements and skill sets, particularly if you have to productively function with new coworkers regularly. To earn a living, one has to basically become more entrepreneurial now and show how they can bring value to their potential employer, and not just the capacity to do the described job, but being able to do additional related work. Work flexibility is sought from employees now. Tasks to be done and hours to do it within, or even the location from where the work is to be done. to be done can be regularly changing and requires flexibility from you. Another factor that one has to consider is that at the lower end of the labor market is the abundance of migrant workers who are willing to do the same job just as well or better for a lower price. So persons need to consider that the need to bring even more training and certification to be competitive in entering the job market is a need at this time. Because of this job competition, particularly at the lower end of the market, employers are able to offer lower wages and still attract workers. So, worker expectations of what to expect monetarily from a job need to be lowered. And this means that a second or even third part-time, evening, night job, or weekend job may be a necessity for one to earn an income that would support one's desired standard of living. Thus, given all of these challenges, how can someone get hired? Well, they need to increase their employability. Employability is defined as the skills, knowledge, and competencies or abilities that enhances a worker's ability to secure and retain a job. This includes progression at work, coping with change, securing another job if one wishes to, or is laid off, and how easily one can enter the labor market at different periods of the life cycle. Employability value increases when there is the foundation of core skills, access to education, the availability of training opportunities, as well as motivation and the ability to take advantage of opportunities for continuous learning. Thus, in addition to having core technical skills, whether academic or vocational, in order to be more attractive to an employer, you have to have employability skills, which are these personal, social, transferable skills relevant to all jobs, as opposed to job-specific technical skills or qualifications. Many employers believe that the key skills such as problem solving, teamwork, time management are just as important as your formal qualifications. These skills or attributes are defined as life skills or soft skills or even character capabilities. Now, regardless of the vocabulary used, these skills are critical to workplace success. A broad range of 10 employability skills have been identified as follows: communication, teamwork, reliability, problem solving, organization and planning, initiative, self-management, leadership, learning, technology. So let's talk about communication. This refers to the ability to relate to your supervisor and co-workers and possibly junior employees, as well as customers. And you need to be able to do this efficiently. And this thus affects your productivity where miscommunications would occur and would delay the delivery of products and services. Miscommunications between workers can thus lead to an uneasy atmosphere and tensions in the workplace, and this would reduce the productivity of you and others. And also, a stressful environment is not a healthy place for you to be. Now, being able to communicate with your colleagues leads towards efficient teamwork, another employability skill that you can use in the workplace. Most businesses have a number of workers who have to move together in a certain sequence in order for the daily work to be accomplished. So being able to get along with your co-workers means that there can be teamwork and productivity. You don't have to like your colleagues so as to get along with them, but you need to respect them as people and as co-workers. And you, at the end of the day, have a job to do, and as well as them, and you all need to work together to get that job done, to accomplish it. Co-workers need to show some reliability in order to get the job done. If you're not there, then your part may not be done and others may not be able to do theirs. So that your company needs to be able to rely on you to come to work on time and do your part. Imagine if you had the keys to open the business place and you don't turn up on time. Sales and deliveries just won't take place until you turn up. Another skill that interviewers look for is the ability to problem solve issues at work. Rather than wait for the supervisor to come and resolve issues that have come up, workers need to be able to resolve minor problems themselves, and thus minimize delays and non-productivity, particularly if this is something that recurs on a periodical basis. And this brings another skill, which is being able to take the initiative, particularly when one has to resolve an issue and there are no managers around. Using good judgment and precedents that have occurred, good workers need to be able to use their initiative and make adjustments in certain situations so that productivity is maintained. Now, in a workplace, as would have occurred in school and in training, there has to be a degree of organization and planning. No task can take place in a business in a vice manner if productivity is to be maintained. You would have learned how to plan and organize your work and extracurricular activities in a manner that would allow for all, or at least the major important ones, to take place. Foresight that was used to organize and plan your daily personal work also happens in the workplace. This is another skill that you have to develop and take with you to the workplace. So, as in school or at home, a teacher or parent will not stand over you all day in order for you to do what is required of you. You have to show self-management to do the work when and where it is supposed to take place. And this is also what employers are looking for in new employees. Persons who can do as instructed with the need for minimal guidance or goading. Getting easily distracted by social media or your colleagues while at work needs to be controlled by you, because a simple solution for an employer might be to just replace you. So consider that. In all businesses, there is an organizational structure, and this shows who is responsible for others. If you would like to move up to the supervisory level, then you need to demonstrate a level of leadership. Being competent and reliable, and thus able to help colleagues and direct them so as to better accomplish their work, puts you in line to be chosen to supervise and manage workers, if and when the opportunity basically presents itself. In life and in business, things evolve and change. We see more and more updated procedures and processes being developed and used, and we need to be able to implement these in our lives and in business. And this calls for persons to adopt a philosophy of lifelong learning. You learned how to use the newest social media apps on your phone, and you need to thus keep learning how to use the new procedures, policies, and techniques that a business may seek to implement in order for them to stay competitive and profitable, or they can just die. Workers who show the ability to be able to positively adapt, to learn new things at work, are assets that employers want to retain, particularly if that sector, that business they're in, is one that's quickly evolving. And finally, we look at our 10th employability skill, technology. We live in a more and more technological age. Banks want you to go online. WhatsApp, TNTech want you to pay online too. In order for businesses to stay competitive, they have to adopt more and more technology that the workers need to be able to understand and operate, or they may no longer be the asset to be retained by the company. So persons need to keep in mind, keep a mindset that would allow them to embrace and adopt new technology and not be afraid. You need to step out of your comfort zone and try something new once in a while so as to maintain the ability to more easily transit to new technologies when they present themselves. So now that we have defined the set of employability skills that workers need to develop in Trinidad and Tobago, I must say that the significance and role of these employability skills within the local labor market has been recognized and led to years of advocacy for it. These efforts have resulted in the standardization and operationalization of employability skills training among many training providers. The government has developed and introduced the National Life Skills Program to facilitate the delivery of standardized, quality life skills education in Trinidad and Tobago. Since then, it has become necessary to evaluate the current state of the local workforce to ascertain the demand for and availability of employability competencies across the economic sectors. To this end, the International Labour Organization, or ILO, in collaboration with the National Training Agency, had embarked upon a national study to ascertain the current specific skills identified by both workers and employers required for success in today's work environment. This document, called the Status of Employability Skills in Trinidad and Tobago, presents the findings of this assessment, classifying the employability skills believed to be critical and those perceived as lacking by employers and employees in Trinidad and Tobago. The findings were based on a sampling across section of employers and employees. And it's basically this document and the information contained within it, which is what formed the basis for this presentation. Now, in this document, measured skills were clustered into foundation skills and 4 employability skills. The clusters of employability skills were namely learning to learn or lifelong learning, communication, teamwork, and problem solving, our first 4 employability skills. Data confirmed that the foundation technical skills and the 4 employability skills were all critical to a workplace success. And there were gaps between demand and availability within most sub-skill areas that we evaluated. Interestingly, there was consensus on the most critical attributes within many of the measured skill areas. However, views varied on the most lacking sub-skills. Now, furthermore, based on the analysis of the research findings, this report proposes a number of recommendations to strengthen employability skills and guides the way forward. The major recommendation is that national multi-skilled, multi-sectoral evaluations be undertaken at a regular basis so as to keep abreast of changes within the labor market. Stakeholders should be sensitized on the need for continual skills enhancement. So to recap, the 4 major employability skills are communication, teamwork, reliability, problem solving. While additional supporting skills are organizational planning, initiative, self-management, leadership, learning, and technology. So, now that you have acquired the set of skills that additionally make you hireable employees, how do you go about finding a job? Now, the internet is not just for social media and games. We can use it for research and to find things that can assist us materially. We have compiled a resource document that has active links to jobs available within Trinidad and Tobago. This is called the Trinidad and Tobago Employment Guide. Now, this employment guide that we have developed is organized by having links to classified ads, jobs in classified ads, jobs in the education and training institutions, in the energy sector, by financial institutions, in the government sector, international organizations in Trinidad and Tobago that you can apply for jobs within them, such as the ILO or the UN, job and associated resource websites. We have the manufacturing sector, the private sector. We have recruitment agencies, the tourism sector, and finally a section on career aptitude testing. So you've studied what interests you, and you've shown a certain ability for, and you have an idea of what kind of job the certification that you've graduated with will get you hired for. But what other options are out there, particularly if there are limited opportunities to find your targeted job? Then consider taking a career aptitude test. This will tell you what other jobs you might consider given your interests, ability, and certification. So now that you have worked on your range of employability skills that will have gotten you noticed by a potential employer, and you have done your research and found a number of possible opportunities for employment, how do you get noticed? You need to prepare your resume and a cover letter or job letter. And this you need to ensure that when you respond, that you need to have when you're responding to an advertised job, so that it is attractive and informative enough so that it gets you the interview that you're looking for. To do this, you have to make sure that the recipients of your letter are impressed by what you know about the company. And your resume should be good enough to get you an interview based on the material that you use for the document, its layout, and the organization of the information inside of it. In preparing your resume, some points to include are working part-time, weekends or evenings, volunteer work, running a local group, giving a vote of thanks, organizing a function, raising funds for an NGO. It might be a good idea to tailor your resume to the company that you are writing to, focusing on points that relate to them and leave out those that are not directly supporting your interest in them. The task now is to convert your interview into a job offer. And when you are nervous and really have your heart set on a job, that can seem as an insurmountable task. Most interviewers make allowances for nerves, but you have to make the adrenaline work for you. For example, contract hard the triangle of muscles at the base of your rib cage. This helps you to relax your throat muscles so your voice doesn't squeak when you speak. Sit with a straight back leg. Sit straight back with your leg uncrossed in front of you. Put your feet in front of you with your weight on your toes. This gives you an alert and interested look. Here are more things to keep in mind. Do not smoke. Wear the appropriate clothes to show that you understand the company's function. Wear something clean, well pressed, in which you are comfortable, such as those shown in the pictures on your screen. Now, before the interview, try to prepare about 10 topics for discussion. You are likely to be asked where you see yourself in 3 years, and that can be one of them. Do your homework on the company itself. Know about their successes and refer to them. Know something about the company's competitors. An interview is largely to see what chemistry is right between the organization and the person you are. They want to know what you can achieve for them if they employ you. And that is precisely what you have to work on putting up across. So ladies and gentlemen, our viewers, This concludes my presentation to you this afternoon, and I thank you for attending. If there are any questions, please, you can put them forward now in the chat. I'm not sure that the mics are going to be unmuted at this time. Let me go on to show our contact information. We are located in Trinidad and Tobago on Wiltshire and Suchan Road in Chaguanas. And you can see our email contact there. We also have an office in Tobago in Milford Road. We have our social media handles there that you can also contact us with, particularly through our Facebook page. Okay. Hello, everyone. Please also be informed that this presentation will be recorded and has been recorded and will be available for viewing through our channel on YouTube. Okay, so we have one question that looks at how one can go about finding a job if you have only experience and no certification. And that is something that affects a number of people, particularly if you had been an employee within a company you just started with them right out of school, or you worked as an apprentice. So we have something called PLAR, Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition. This is a process by which people come in to the various centers that are located within Trinidad and Tobago. The National Energy Skills Center is one of them. You go in there, you speak to a person about what skill set you have, you provide the evidence to show what skills you have, and if it is within an area that is a vocational of a vocational nature, we can then provide an evaluation and a certificate for you. This certificate might come in the form of a TTNVQ, a Trinidad and Tobago National Vocational Qualification, or if it's a skill that we have recognized through the Caribbean, it'll be a CVQ, or Caribbean Vocational Qualification. And that is the way you can go about getting yourself certified, having just experience and the knowledge that comes from that, so that you can look forward to progressing in the workplace or finding a better job. Okay, so we have another question that asks about the availability of jobs and career guidance for persons. And if you need further career guidance, we have our social media handles, our email and phone contacts, and you can write to us or call us, and we can provide one-on-one career guidance services with our career guidance officers to anyone that's interested in acquiring more or more specific career guidance information. We have brochures and pamphlets that we can email to you that speak specifically about how to prepare a resume, giving you, for example, a draft of one, example of one that you can use, how to sit, the tips on sitting an interview, the preparation of a job letter. We have all that information in soft copy that we can share with you as well. Now, the other part of the question speaks to asking about finding jobs. Now, as I said before, within the presentation, we have an employment guide to Trinidad and Tobago. Now, this employment guide, we would like to share with you via soft copy because we have embedded within it links to all the pages, all the web pages of companies in Trinidad and Tobago that have jobs. And we have organized them by various sectors. We also have links within that document to the websites that carry jobs in Trinidad and Tobago, to placement agencies that can assist you in organizing your resume and finding a job for you within Trinidad and Tobago. So these are resources that we have available. The brochures are available on our website, ntatt.org. You can go in there and look for in the publication section to find our brochures. And we will be putting the employment guide within that section soon, but you'll have to write us or communicate with us directly to get that document from us at this point in time. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, good afternoon again, everyone. And I think that's most of our questions for this afternoon. I thank you for attending our presentation today. And I invite you to log in again tomorrow at 1 p.m. when we will be having another presentation on TVET pathways to success that speaks more specifically towards what opportunities are available for someone considering the TVET sector or TVET jobs as a means to, as a career and how to move forward within it. So again, thank you very much and do have a pleasant afternoon. And again, remember COVID is out there. It's coming in, there's social spread now. So please be safe and take all the necessary precautions while you're out in public. Thank you again and have a great day.